Oh, that. The bargain. We call it the bargain. There's a bargain when it happens. We're talking about psychology. This is Mayan psychology. All right? Mayan version of psychology go like this. When you marry a woman, the earth hates you. The earth hates your guts. Nature hates your guts. Because your mother, when you were born, is nature. Your mother is nature. You suckle off her wonderful full breasts, and you feel good. Your spinning is going, you're down by the fire. She'll protect you from death. Oh, maybe even from your father's anger. Who knows what. But anyway, you sat in her belly for a long time. I mean, God willing, you sat in there for 9 months. So when you come out, you're indebted to the earth. But the earth doesn't call on you for any payment when you're little. The adults are paying for you. And then you come to be an age to be married, or you start noticing young ladies, that's when the old people call you to be initiated. So when you haul off a girl, or she hauls you off, what happens is that you all of a sudden change from being a suckler to being a provider. To bring one that's bringing the meat to the house, the one who's providing the food that makes the milk for your children. So what you have to do is now you have to steal from nature in order to provide for her. So right now you're robbing your mother. So first of all, you're suckling your mother because she wants you to be suckled. She gave birth to you. But then when you grow up and start to get married, then all of a sudden you have to rob your mom to feed your wife. And she, in nature, hates your guts. And that's the whole thing with the story with Robert's story there. With the grudge that the female has against you for looking at the other woman. Okay? So what do you do with that? So that's where initiation and ritual comes in. And so the man, he has to go through this way of giving the gift back to the original mother that made his mother, and made his grandmother, and made his father, and made his grandfather. Has to give a gift back to them. And the price. What is the price for that? What's the price in the ultimate for that? No, that's the gift. That's what you get out of it. No, the price is your death. That's your rent. Death is your rent to nature for being allowed to live. Yeah, that's right. Death is the debt payment, the final debt payment. You wouldn't even be allowed to live one day if you didn't give something back some other way. But you give as much back as you can as you go to get each footstep, to get each footstep, to get each footstep. The youth are pissed at you for making this bargain without their permission. So when they turn 13, 14, it says, I didn't make any agreement with them. So why are you making me work and why are you making me do these things? And then when they have children, they say, oh, I see. But they can't be expected to understand that. That's why they have to be under your shade, and you just have to take these knocks and rocks and listen and get them through it until they realize that that huge triangle bargain that Robert Bly is talking about has been present and accounted for. So as long as modern culture continues to marry the earth to technology, it's stealing from its original mother, and the mother gets angrier and angrier and angrier. And that spirit mother has now got teeth made of atom bombs. She's now got teeth made of diseases you can't cure. She now has teeth made of things that kill the people who make them. That's her teeth now. Everybody says, oh, that's us humans made that. Oh no, that's the earth getting ready to eat. Because it's pissed off, it changes form. It's like Beauty and the Beast. As soon as you kiss it, it turns into this prince, right? But until you can't kiss it. So you're always looking at the enemy. So what do? Do you develop Prozac and Valiums and all kinds of things to shield yourself? You find all kinds of more technological remedies for the problem in the first place. And so these remedies become part of the problem. So the remedies, technological remedies, become more indebted, create a bigger and bigger debt, so that the teeth grow on this angry mother. So you have married the machines, and these machines are now full of teeth, and they become the teeth. All right, so they say, well, what do we do? What do we do? No, the one that's yelling, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Is the adolescent. The one that sits there and says, we have a dilemma, and this is what we have, and sits with that debt in the belly, will come up with a solution, and the solution is being together and giving a gift back to this thing. So that when you marry, you realize you become a thief in order to live. Because old time people, they had to steal from nature. And we do too. And so when you give the gift finally, then the mother says, oh, what a beautiful daughter-in-law I have. And she starts helping you instead of hindering you. And that's the three-way bargain. That's why all young men in our village are terrified of the female. of being devoured. You've all heard the story of the toothed mother who has teeth in her vagina. You've heard of that story, right? You guys didn't know about that? Oh, poor deprived children, I'm telling you. All right. You know that all the ancient women had big old shark-like teeth in their vaginas, right? In the old days, no women had a vagina nice and soft like they have now that you all desire right now because you've been here for 2 days, right? And those days, there's a great funny saying. It said, when that woman said she wanted to have you for dinner, she wasn't kidding. She'd chop your penis off. She'd eat you up. So we had a magician that came in, and he put a mortar and pestle in there. He says, don't worry. And he put a big old grinding stone in there, and those teeth hit that thing. And you put it in another one, put it in another one, and put it in another one. Finally, they got dull. They left one in there. It's called the clitoris, the dull tooth. As I said, knock the edge off the desire, because desire, when it gets unrequited, it goes up into the head and makes wars. Same in men. So that it always wants to eat you. Right? So all the young men are terrified of falling in that womb and getting devoured. All African men in Africa, all native people, they're terrified of the woman in the first sexual encounter because they think they're going to get eaten. Very smart. So when they get initiated, that's the way of knocking the teeth out of there for the young women and making the man so he's strong enough to do so. And so that the three-way bargain is completed so that he can make love with a new woman, and now he becomes a man instead of a boy because he is the one that is fulfilling the bargain, understanding that he must die as a fulfillment of the payment of this blessing of being alive, but he will give other life and teach it how to do the same so that it won't die in the future. I know that's a little complicated, but it's really, that's how it works with us. So you can't just be going along and say, well, it'd be nice to just be a guy that watches TV and go along and get what I want. I want what I want, and I got what I want, and I can get it and give me a power workshop, you know. So I give her, yeah, go ahead. There are still freezes and still fries, and you're still not immune to what goes down. So anyway, you got any other questions?
Martin, so therefore, you feel that everybody now is more and more afraid of the earth because they haven't paid her back.
Yeah, they're born looking over the shoulder.
What?
Everyone's born looking over their shoulder. What's going to eat me? So they built bigger castles, better wars and better machines to keep themselves from getting hurt. And all they do is make the earth more angry. More and more angry. And the one that has the courage to go out gets eaten too, just like in your story. The one that goes out says, like the New Age person that says, well, I'm just going to go up to this sacred place and I'm going to do the ceremony. Bam! Lightning hit him. They get run over by train. Because that's not the answer. That's not the answer the old lady's asking. The old lady's asking for your eloquence, for your dance. That's why Robert Bly is still alive. Because he has the dance. You know how to dance with the giant. As a matter of fact, you have a poem like that. Not to get eaten. But to speak, it's not just flirtation, and it's not just trickery. It's the honest to God truth. And when that thing in spirit sees that courage with that eloquence, it's like you when you see these young men doing that. It's like, man, I don't want to eat him. And if you do want to eat him, you have to go through me, because I will protect him. Honest to God, I will. And if you know me well, you know I will too. I'd rather die than have to hurt them. To steal from them, you can steal from them. And that's how nature is too. Once it sees your elegance and your eloquence and your dance, it says, what amazing little puny individual with a beautiful shining flower face. How amazing. Let's give it some water and let it live. And they let it live. It's a mysterious thing. How the spirit can be so generous and be so tough at the same time. See, it's very hard for people to think of a God that doesn't like people. And the Mayans only have one God that does like people. Everything else thinks we're an acquired taste.
I still want to go back to that anger that people feel the earth have towards us now. Do you think the flight into the computer is partly to try to ignore that anger?
I don't think it's to ignore the anger. I think it's part of the anger of the earth. I think that we always think that we make those machines. I don't think we made those machines. I think the angry mother made those machines. She made them to destroy us. So there's a lot of Indians, they say to me, don't go around helping these guys. Don't help them. They're already doing themselves in. Let them die. That's the curse that we put on them a long time ago. Let them go. It's finally going to eat them all. I said, but it's going to eat you too, Jack. So we're in it together. So don't be giving me none of this racist crap. That's what I tell them. You get fundamentalist Indians too, I'm telling you. Yeah, we got born again Indian. We got that too. Yeah, sure. Doesn't mean all Indians are like that, don't get me wrong. But there's a resentment of people that do understand this principle, saying that, oh yeah, all the little inventions that they're all making, yeah, well, we got to go help them so they don't kill themselves. I said, no, let them go, don't be part of it. Let them go. And then when they're all filtered up, then the buffaloes will come back and the deers will come back. I said, no, it ain't going to be like that. 2012 ain't going to be like that. That's what it's about. So this computer is trying to make everything into a thin thing, to something thin. Because the more thin it is, the more you can contain it, and the more you can control it. And then you have this illusion that the whole world is in front of your eyes. Well, you know more than 99% of the world is not in front of your eyes. It's to the side, on top, underneath, inside, in the back, and all kinds of other places. It doesn't sit in front of you. It doesn't obey you. The earth will not obey you. You have to learn to dance with all those things. And that's what young initiated Apaches had to do. Young initiated Pueblo men, young initiated Maasai, young initiated Mayans, young initiated Celts, young initiated Scots, young initiated Vikings, and young initiated Jewish men, and young initiated African men, all over the world. They all have to learn that dance with nature and to understand its incredibly big and unsentimental nature. It's extremely beautiful, but it's not all just for humans. The humans are part of the beauty. They are not the reason for its beauty. We are like an earring on the earth, they call it. An earring on the earth. We enhance what already exists here. And when we cease to enhance it, then the earth says, oh, who needs the earring anyway? That's why they call it Mayans. They call it a human being, earring of the earth. The shamans. The regular people call us 20s. Number 20s, you know what I talked about last night. But the shamans, they call us earrings. It's a female one and a male one. And we enhance the beauty of what already exists here. And then when we quit doing that, then we're a liability. We're infecting it. So this angry earth has got to be given a gift. But you can't just walk up to this angry. For instance, say you've got a wolf, you know, and the wolf haven't been fed for 2 months. And he's barely hanging out. It's like that. And you come over there with a steak, what's going to happen? It's going to take your arm off with the steak. Not because it don't like you, but it just is blinded by its hunger. It cannot distinguish between the gift and the giver. So the shaman, what he does is, oh, hungry wolf. Oh, I see. And he throws little bits of meat far away. And after 2 or 3 weeks of that, the wolf is getting fatter and starting to see good again. And so, oh, there's a man. And the meat is the other stuff. Oh, okay. And he's the one that's been giving it to me. Ah, I'm happy about my relation with this guy. So that's how you get a relationship with the spirit. When you first, you know how afraid you are, most of you, probably about getting a relationship with spirit because it's like spooky or taboo because you've been raised some other way, or because, oh, maybe it doesn't like me, because you're born with that innate, instinctual, like Robert says, understanding that thing is piss off of your ass, man, for forgetting it for so many centuries. And you know that when you go in there to give it a little food, it's probably going to eat you, like that thing in the story. You're wise people, you know this, that's very true. So what you do, you don't give it a whole bunch, you give it a little bit all the time, little bit all the time, little bit all the time, little bit all the time. Pretty soon it starts fattening up, like your ancestors' bones starts fattening up, and they start liking you again. And then they start seeing you for who you are, because until you give a gift, no one can see you. Until you've given a gift, no one can give you a gift. Because there's no place to put it. Because you fatten up as you fatten. You become bigger as you make something bigger. So you give the gift, it gets big, you get big, and then it can see where to give the gift. And then you have a relationship going. And then you can dance with it, and then it becomes your happy friend instead of your adversary. Only slowly, little by little. And so the men that have the courage, this is what Robert Moore, I think, is talking about a warrior, if I understand correctly. Maybe I don't, but this is what I understand it. It's the men and the women, men in this case, who have the courage to go slowly, not quick, like, okay, well, we'll go do this ritual and then I'm fine, I don't have to worry about it. No, every day of the rest of your life, and not for you, for those that come later. Because if you do that, not for you, then you will grow. You will become it. Until the unblessed are the ones that doing all the blessing, then you ain't got culture. All you got is a pile of pups. So that's the whole thing. The man that has the courage to give the gift, little increments without a huge write-up in the newspaper. And if they get one, don't be seduced by it. That would be your worst enemy. Robert Bly, John Lee, Robert Moore, myself to some extent, Melodoma Michael Meade, we're always trying to be eaten. And the more recognition we get, the more dangerous it becomes for our lives and our personal families. That's one of the reasons I come, is to keep protection for these men. Because the worst thing can happen is if you get written up for it. The recognition you want is in your village. You don't need no damn headline. The spirit sees you and then you're happy. Hey, I'm together with my guys. Yeah. Look at the young man. Yeah. You give little gift, little gift, little gift, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. Slowly it fattens the spirit, and then you start getting the dance. And then it comes back to be the friend, and then we got life. Oh well, maybe I'm getting carried away. I'm starting to talk like a Mayan in English. Sort of a Jesse Jackson Mayan. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.